Good evening, everyone. This is Zubair Qamar at Zubair's Bookshelf, and I welcome you to the first page through. So I've finally gotten to the first page through, and the book we are going to be looking at today is Between Iran and Zion, Jewish Histories of 20th-Century Iran. So before I start, it's good to know what a page through is. So a page through is not a book review. It's just a way to get to know the book better, to help you decide if you want to buy it, if you want to explore it more, if it would be the right book for your research, and so forth. So when you look at a cover, you do not know that much. When you look at a summary, you will know what the book is about, but you will not know the layout of the book, and you would want to know a little bit more about the book before you actually buy it or decide to explore it further. So the objective of the page through is to help you understand the book a little bit better, even before you read it. So that is the point. And do let me know if these page throughs are helpful, and I can always amend them or revise them to benefit you as much as possible. So this book is by Dr. Lior Sternfeld, and you might remember that I'll be interviewing Dr. Sternfeld in a couple of days, actually, and that podcast will be released later this month. So I'm looking forward to that. So this is the book we'll be doing the page through for right now, Between Iran and Zion, Jewish Histories of 20th-Century Iran. And just taking a quick look at the endorsements, I'm not going to go through each and every one, but you'll see Orit Bashkin, Ervin Abrahamian, and Hamid Dabashi. So if you quickly check these people's books or their talks and so forth, you'll see that they're probably at the progressive range of the political spectrum. So these are likely to be reflected in this book. And if you go to the beginning of the book, if you just want to see the table of contents really quickly, then we can go through a page through of 2 sample chapters. So this is the table of contents here. And you will see after the preface, acknowledgments, note on transliteration, there's the introduction, followed by Chapter 1, Shifting Demographics, the Arrival of Ashkenazi and Iraqi Jews. Chapter 2, The Iranian Political Sphere, Shaping a National Identity. Chapter 3, Iranian Jews in Israel, From Indigenous to State-Sponsored Zionism. Chapter 4, Unintended Consequences, the Lead-Up to the Iranian Revolution, followed by the conclusion, a postscript towards a new historiography, and then the notes, bibliography, and index. So you will see off the bat, just from the table of contents, that this book is about 130 pages. So it's not a very long book, but because it's short, doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good book. So we'll check out the notes section and the bibliography, as well as the index, to see how good this book is in terms of research and further research. So going through the book very quickly, you see the preface. We're not going to go through it, but you see the acknowledgments. Now, very quickly, I did some research on a number of names on the first page, and they also follow, you can see more or less the progressive side of issues as the endorsers did. Going to the introduction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go through some of the subtopics in 2 chapters. So I'm going to use the introduction as one of the chapters. So you'll see it starts off by talking about the intense relations between Iran and Israel. And then it talks about leading to the 20th century. On this page, the challenges of writing Iranian Jewish history. This is a very interesting part of the introduction. Highly recommend this book for the introduction alone. The lachrymose historiographical tradition. I'm not going to tell you what that means. I want you to read it. It's very interesting and highly recommended to read. Going through, so now we're at Chapter 1, Shifting Demographics, the Arrival of Ashkenazi and Iraqi Jews. This chapter is basically about Jews during World War II or around World War II, where many Polish Jews and Iraqi Jews came to Iran. So that's a big part of history that we don't know much about. And this is another fascinating chapter. If you just go through it, the arrival of Poles in Iran. From refugee camps to downtown Tehran, creating Polish culture in Iran. Post-war legacy of Polish refugees in Iran. So then it starts talking about minority within a minority, Jewish emigration from Iraq. So there's a lot of symbiosis between Iranian Jews and Iraqi Jews, and this section explains that really well. Ittifaq, Iraqi British education in Tehran. So this section, as you will see, talks about a school. And then the chapter ends here and goes on to chapter 2. So I'm not going to go through the page through for chapter 2. I think going through the intro in chapter 1 should give you a pretty decent idea of the nature and layout of this book. So what we're going to do now is go to the very end for researchers and check out the notes. So if you look at the notes, as I mentioned, the book itself ends at page 130. And if you look at the notes, you will see that they're very copious. They're very detailed notes, and an excellent way to build on your reading and your research is to look at the notes. Very well cited, very well researched. That's how it looks from the notes. Now, if you go from the notes, just look at how long the notes are. They're quite extensive, which is very good, a good sign when it comes to researchers. You'll then see that there is a bibliography, right? So you'll see a bibliography, which is quite extensive, as you can see. It's a pretty extensive bibliography, which is really good because there's a lot of follow-up research that you can do on the topic if you're researching it or if you'd just like to know more about it. And then, last but not least, you have got an index. And of course, an index is always very useful for research. You will see here that it's a fairly detailed index. Book ends here. As you know, it's a paperback. And the cover shows the tomb of Daniel, which is a shrine visited by not only Iranian Jews, but also Muslims and people of other faith groups. So it's a shared heritage between people of different faith groups. You'll see the Star of David on the cover, transitioning into the sky, and then this tomb here. And then you will see, again, the endorsements from the endorsers, more on the progressive side. And of course, this book would reflect that as well, at least as much as I've read. So this is the page through. I hope this was helpful. I see this as a pilot page through. If there are any ways to improve it, I'm sure there are. So here it is. Apologies for any shortcomings. More page throughs to come on many more books. Thank you. Until next time.